You get to see some persons in the industry, and then over time they just fade out into the thin air, and you're wondering what is going on. That is what we're looking at on today's episode of Time Out with SACO. We will be talking about how to maintain your brand as an entertainer. My name is Telemore, and today in the studio I have with me the compere with a sense of humor, Mr. SACO. Drum rolls!
Thank you so much for having me.
You're
It's a great honor to always come on set to discuss on how to be relevant and how to get better in what you're doing. Thank you for having me once again.
Yes, you heard that, and it's an honor to sit with him. Oh my God! I want an Oscar!
Yeah.
Okay, before we delve into what we have for today, let's take a time out. Welcome back. It's still Time Out with SACO. My name is Telemore, and today we will be looking at how to maintain your brand as an entertainer. Let's just quickly look at one major reason people fade out of the industry.
I think from my own point of view, other people might have different things to say, but one of the things that I find out is that the things that they know, or the people that fade out, is they don't multiply it, they don't share it. They feel that, okay, this is all about at the place of where people, the attention is on them. And that's why I'm always very, very careful when you hear is the rave of the moment. Every time you hear the rave of the moment, it's just for the moment. Because for another 4 or 5 years, it can't be the rave of the moment. Somebody is coming. So every time you have the opportunity, you are the place where people are looking up to you. Try to be a blessing. Try to teach people how you got there. Share your story, because people think you got there overnight, and they have that mentality. Until you open your mouth to share your story, nobody will understand. So if you are in that, why people fade off is not about the fact that you didn't have a son or you didn't have a child, that your name was not the legacy. When it's either you write a book about your experience, where people, even long after you're gone, people still read about it. We read some book now, we didn't have the opportunity of meeting the author, but we feel their impact from the book, from sharing their story of how they had nothing. So I will say to you, you're not going to be a player forever. Whoever is there, or why you don't hear from them, is they just feel that everything is all about them.
Okay, thank you very much. You are not going to be a player forever. So learn to share what you have, no matter how little. I think I'd like to add that.
Yes.
And now let's just delve straight into the main topic of the day: how to maintain your brand as an entertainer. What are the things you would say one needs to do to maintain his brand as an entertainer?
Okay, so when the idea came to my mind, came to me last week, and I thought about sharing this. If you are just getting into any industry as an entertainer, you must first ask yourself, why am I coming into this industry? This is why you get into industry, and then you're just anything that goes. It means that you didn't, from the beginning, you were not sure about where you were going to do. Yes, sometimes the blessings or the testimonies that have come to my life right now were not things that I saw, even though I knew I was going to be great, but the things, but from the beginning, I'm sharing from my own experience, the core value for me was, why was I coming into the industry? Know what you want to do. Know what you're coming into the industry to do. Is because I started in church. I started as a comedian in church, and I said to myself, I'm going to come into the industry. I've always wanted to be a comedian. What kind of comedy was I going to be doing? It was very, very important. If you check the dictionary of core is the reason of you getting into an organization. What are you going to achieve there? So when I go into the comedy industry as a gospel comedian, I refer myself as a gospel comedian, seen a bit of comedy, people knew me. At the time, I knew the kind of comedy I was going to do. I knew the kind of places I was going to go. I did the SWOT analysis, my strength, my weakness, my opportunity, and my threat. I knew what my strength was. I knew I was a good guy in church. Give me a platform in church, boom.
Okay, did you come out outrightly to say, oh, I'm going to be a gospel comedian?
No, I didn't come out to say I was going to be a gospel. I didn't even know that there was a word called gospel comedian until I met my mentor called Oli Malam in 2004. I saw him for the first time when I went to a church, and he anchored, and I said, this man is already living my dream. And then it took me 4 years to get his attention, because I sent him a mail. I was very passionate, when I saw what he was doing. Your core value, it was when I had a conversation with him 4 years after I realized, okay, it's a gospel comedian. But as I grew older, that's where people do not, why people fade off, is you feel that, oh, I'm a gospel comedian, I moved on to the gospel comedian. You can't get to a doctor and say, are you a gospel doctor?
Gospel doctor,
are you a
that
gospel
sounds
nurse?
great.
What makes them a doctor is because they've been licensed to become a doctor. It means whether you're a Christian or a Muslim, as long as you can tell them the symptoms, you get solution. You can't get into a plane and say, before I get into the plane, I need to confirm the pilot. Is it a gospel pilot or an Islamic pilot? It's very, nobody's asking you that. Is it going to take me to my destination? It's very important that you know the reason why you're going to the place, the reason you're going to the place. You must not begin to ask yourself, you must ask yourself, what am I bringing to the industry? You must know the kind of jokes. Some people are fantastic comedians and they do their jokes in pidgin English and they get endorsements. They are fantastic Yoruba comedians and they get endorsements. What are you going to do your jokes in English? Are you going to sing in English? Are you going to do this? Know what you are going into.
By the way, there is nothing really new that no one has never done.
Yes. So another thing you must also do is find out, do a study about the industry you want to get into. That's one thing people don't know. They don't do a study. Oh, this guy does fun. They don't know the story of this person. Maybe might not have. Sometimes spend time research on the people that you admire. And then I must tell you that in this industry you're coming to, I was attending a training last week, and it says no matter how big anybody is in that industry, you have a space. You have a space in that industry. Don't ever say, oh, this person has taken all the space. No, there's a space for you. You need to begin to learn to build your own clientele, begin to build your own space where they're going to create space.
Okay, I think we'll stop that point there. No matter how big the industry is or how saturated you think it is, there is a space for you. Now we move on to the next point.
Yes. Okay, so the next point is reinvent into your craft. I did a series recently on a few months ago about the 4 important D's of talent, the parts of where you need to discover that you have a talent. Some people do not even know that they have a talent, where you need to develop your skills. And that's where I'm talking about reinventing your craft, where it's very, very important that you work more on your craft. Don't just believe, oh, I'm a comedian, I'm a musician, just stay there. I can sing naturally. They wake me. Talent is, they define it as something that you do easily.
And it has a way of deceiving you.
Yes, you hear the dictionary word of something you do easily without more or less skill. But whether you like it or not, people do not pay for talent, they pay for the skill. So the good book talked about a guy that could play the harp very skillfully. And in the midst of him, all the other people that played the harp, he was the one, and he was in the bush. So it means that when he was playing in and nobody was giving him attention, he kept on building on himself. And then it's important that you reinvent yourself. There's some things that now that you need to drop. That's why you need to relearn, you need to unlearn and learn and get new skills. Don't just wait and say this like this. They know me. If they know if you take me, they leave me, and then you just realize that they leave you. They leave the person. They're not calling you for events. Now you're not the one even reaching out to people and saying you don't get events, because the time where they needed you to imprint yourself, or they were correcting you and saying no, this is how you met me. This is how you knew me. The time has passed. There are a lot of the rev of the moment. You're no longer the rev of the moment.
The person's time.
Somebody has given them solution to the thing that we're complaining about. So for me, reinvent yourself. Ask yourself, and then you need to ask yourself. Always try new things. Some people are scared of trying new things. They feel, what if I fail? In the midst of that failure, that's when you're going to be able to. I've tried some things that in my life I've taken some steps that I never imagined I could achieve. But starting is very important. One of my role models, Steve Harvey, says, until you jump, your parachute is not going to come out. People are scared of jumping. What if I fail? What if I fall? The parachute is not going to come out. People are not going to support you. Some people, some brands are not even going to believe in you until they see that you have a story.
Or what if I fall and then people laugh at me?
It's okay to laugh. The same people that laugh at you will laugh with you. That laugh at you will laugh with you when they see that you are consistent. Because you check the greatest people on earth tried it so many times. The Bob that we're seeing today, they tried it 99 times, if I'm not mistaken, 99 times. So you can imagine somebody trying something today and they're laughing.
That sounded insane.
And maybe that even put it out and say, come watch me on the 5th of February. I'm going to be doing an exhibition on how to, and then boom, it didn't come out. And then he says, come watch me on the 20th of February. Boom. And people say, don't watch anybody. See, let's watch you. And then finally he gets the solution. 99 times. I don't know how somebody's going to try something 99 times. I'm sure we get, so for me
it takes a very, very strong mind. Okay, before we go to the next point, we need to take a breather. Welcome back. It is still Time Out with SACO. My name is Telemo, and we're talking about how to maintain your brand as an entertainer. SACO has said so much here. He has talked about your core values, knowing your core values, reinventing in yourself. You really need to do all of that. And at this point, if you haven't subscribed, yes, I'm talking to you. If you haven't subscribed, you need to go right now, click the subscribe button below, and then click the notification button so that you get notified every time there is a new post. Okay, moving on, sir, to the next point.
Okay, so to remain relevant in the industry, it's important that you look for a mentor. Remember, I talked about mentorship. I am where I am today because of, I know one of my mentors, Mr. Nia Adesoya, says no one gets to the top except somebody brings you to the top. There's no level that you are right now that somebody will bring you to the top. Somebody recommended you. I hear people sometimes, especially this new generation, and some of them says, I found my way to the top. No one found you. Didn't find your way to the top. It's that you read about somebody found you there, or somebody mentioned your name. Because the truth is, one thing for you to have talent, if people do not mention your name, you're not going to get it. Somebody mentioned your name. It's important that you find a mentor that has the same value or possibly bigger values than you do. Like I said, meeting Holy Madam in 2008 changed the way I saw life, made me realize, because I didn't really have much role models in my life or mentors that I had. It was the general comedians, that I've always seen, until I saw somebody that shared the same value that, and that's how a journey that should have taken me 4 years, 5 years to have gotten to my first major pay as a 5,000 naira comedian. I evolved to being a 30,000, and 30,000 was deliverance. From 5K, I could go anywhere for 5,500. If you had 500 to the 500, to the 5,000, I could go anywhere. I could go, and then bam, I met him, and then it changed the way I thought. It made me realize, saw value in the things that I do from my talent, and then boom. Let
me ask you this: were you actively looking out for? I need a mentor. I need someone to mentor me. Were you actively looking out for a mentor before meeting Holy Malam?
I wasn't. The first mentor that I had in my life was one of my pastors. His name is Pastor Kunle Rotimi. I keep mentioning his name. As a teenager, he would, after church, he would take us to his to his office with other teenagers, and then he would begin to share with us. In my mind, I thought this man was wasting his time. He was the first person that had the word 3 things that influences your life: what you see, the people you listen to, and the friends you keep. I never understood in my mind, what is this man saying? He's wasting our time. I want to have a girlfriend. What does this man share with me? He was sharing a lot of things about vision. I didn't know anything, but those things entered my mind. How I found my name SACO as a teenager was, I was just in my house. I said, okay, I want to become a comedian. What name do I want people to call me? And then I wrote down all my names: Sunday, Ayodele, Chuka, Mado, Kundalai. The things that I've listened to around me made me, even though school education also helped me as acronyms where you could define accounting as this is, and that was a mentorship made me. I wasn't looking out for, but 2004 when I saw him anchor an event in Alausa in a church called the Lighted Church, it changed my mindset that I needed a mentor in my life. Like I said, he was already living the life that I wanted to live, as in good life, from someone that I lived in a polygamous family. I wasn't getting all the attention, or I wasn't getting love, and then I saw somebody, and then 4 years I followed him. This time, if I see his picture anywhere, I will go. Anywhere I will go, even if he doesn't know me. I will go and see him anchor events, and then one way or another it began to dawn on me, and then the opportunity came where he gave me my first platform to do something in a church, and then that's how I got. So mentorship is important. 4 things that I've learned from one of my teachers, Dr. Ekunda. 4 important things about how to keep in touch with your mentor. First, the power of observation. It's important that you observe the kind of thing that your mentor wants, the kind of thing that your mentor like. A lot of people get attention, or you get your mentor's attention, and you're not even allowing your mentor to talk. You're just seeing everything, and what do you want your mentor to say? You're not observing. You don't even know anything about your mentor. You don't know the lifestyle. You don't know his temperament. You lose it. Because if you don't observe, you cannot get some other things. And that's why it takes me to the next one, where the power of explanation. Where if you observe really what your mentor is really looking at, you will explain, you will get more explanation. For instance, you're reading a book, and it says, I noticed from your book in chapter 2, the fourth paragraph, the mentor already knows that you read his book. I say, sir, you said this. He will give you more explanation because he realized that you observed. It's different from, sir, your book blessed, or your book chapter 4.
What exactly blessed you?
And then he asks you what exactly blessed you. It's the book in general. Compared to the person that was specific. You need to be specific about what you're learning from your mentor, and then the power of experience, where you have your own experience. When my mentor shared with me his first trip to the UK, I didn't understand. I just had the fantasy that one day I'll go to the UK. I didn't know it was going to be close. And from observation, from the thing that he said, work on your account statement, work on your tax, work on this, make sure money is entering your account, and boom, I went to London in 2012, 1st of July. I can't forget that day. Now I understand. I had my own experience. When he was saying don't collect anything less than 120, I didn't understand. I'm coming from 5,000 to 3,000 to 35,000. Now you're saying I should not collect anything less than 120. Okay. I'm not ready. So I moved. And the power of revelation, where you understand your own calling, you understand why you're called, you need to begin to, we're going to share that at the last part, where it's important that you know your own assignment in the industry that you belong to.
Oh, thank you. In fact, I wish we were talking about just mentorship so we can just dwell on it, but then we cannot, because we are looking at how to maintain your brand as an entertainer. I think we have just 2 more points left.
We have 2 more points to go. Now, the truth is about mentorship. I explained more about the mentorship from my book that I released last year, From Prompts to Riches.
Yes.
How, so if you want to get a copy, you can just send me a DM on Spirit of SACO TV. I could send you the link on how to get the book. And then the other part where it's very, very important, integrity. Okay. It's important that in the industry that you belong to, integrity is very key.
When you say integrity, do I have to always say, oh my God, I'm a good person, I'm this, I'm that?
Now I'm going to explain what integrity is. Maybe you check dictionary meaning of integrity. Okay. It has different meaning, So integrity is what?
Steadfast adherence to a strict moral or ethical code.
Okay, so it's very important that in the industry that you belong to, integrity, when they talk about integrity, is your name going to be mentioned? And I say to you, I'm coming up in front of the camera, I failed, in the place of integrity growing up in the brand, because it got to a time where I got emotional to people, where people say they want to pay me this amount. I know that's not my amount, but because I am emotional to say, oh sir, and the person is proposing 100,000, I know I don't collect 100,000, because and then you're scared, kind of you're scared that what if I don't collect this 100,000, another job doesn't come. And then you go to it and they make a commitment, and boom, just 2 days to the day, somebody calls you and says, I'm going to pay you 400,000.
Oh my God.
If now you wait till you go do.
What would you do?
I have done it not once, not twice. I've done it over 10 times, over 20 times. Because I got overwhelmed. I'll just apologize to the person.
What did you do actually? You returned the 100,000 naira?
You don't return the money. What you do at the beginning was you will now begin to pray that the 400k event will start first, so that the other 100k will be delayed. We didn't know we're becoming a wizard.
Mind you, he's not teaching you to do
no,
this.
I'm sharing this with you on how I almost lost it in the entertainment industry, where I was overwhelmed. You know how you just collect 400k here, you collect 100k here, you collect 50k in the morning. In a day you collected like 600,000, pam, and then there's no way one will not suffer.
Yes.
You just tell somebody, oh yeah, go and stand in for me. And I learned it also in the industry, where somebody says, go and stand in for, I don't want to mention the people, go and stand in for me, tell them I'm coming, you are just standing in. And I did it so many times. And what you do consistently for 21 days becomes an habit.
Yeah.
So I did it, and then it became an habit for me, nothing. And then somebody's having an event on the island, on the mainland, you collect an event on the island, you collect another one on the mainland, you now begin to go between two mainland.
And then you feel like I'm a Superman.
Yes, now you're everywhere. But at the time, people began to, when your name is being mentioned, say don't mention. It came late to the event. The truth is, I eventually get to the event, but I get there late. And then the guy that I sent there, and then it was a platform for the guy. Whoever I sent several times, several of them that I sent, he gave them platform. Just like gave me platform. When I'm standing in for somebody, and then I say, sir, I'm standing. They say, it's not you I paid. I said, I know, but I'm not standing in. Don't worry, the person will soon be here.
So
and then I continue.
How were you able to salvage your integrity?
I sat down because I sat down and I asked myself, if I continue with this, in another 5 years, I won't be relevant. And I'm not coming here to show you the things. I want to show you the things that I did that almost, ruined the brand. it was something I did that I have people till date that will say you ruined my wedding because I sent somebody that was not ripe enough to anchor a wedding. I felt that people gave me the opportunity, and then that's why till date, even if you're paying me 50,000, the person I'm going to send to you must give you value for that 50,000. Because for every recharge card that you buy, even if it's 100 naira, if you don't get value for it, you call the customer care. Don't talk about when somebody pays you 15 naira. 50,000. So it's very important. You must keep to the integrity, that no matter what, before you collect money, and that's why I sat down and I said to myself, before I collect any money from anybody, I need to be sure that I'm going to do this job, no matter what. And I say, to the glory of God. I'm coming up to the glory of God. Last year I still had one case, but before it was like 20. So I've not gotten there yet. It was like 20 in a year. And for me, I go apologize. I go return money back. Sometimes they tell you refund, and I refund because I've already cashed out. But if you're going to be relevant in an industry, you need to, anything that makes you collect money from somebody, you need to keep to it. All right. And somebody will asking, somebody will asking, what if somebody has paid me and then it cancels an event? What is going to happen? And they're asking for refund. Well, that'll be a topic for another day. That's why it's important that when you send your invoice, make sure you have,
whatever works for you.
Whatever works for you, because some people tell you once a deposit is made, no refund, because somebody shifts it there, especially this COVID-19 period where people cancel the event and they tell you, I want my money back. Only
I think that's something we should talk about.
We'll talk about it
next
time, some other time. Yes.
Okay, so can we have the last point in, say, less than 1 minute?
Okay, no. So the last point where I'm going to say to you, you would say, how does this one tally? It's honoring your parents. It's very important that in any industry that you belong, I understand. Some people might have asked, why would I honor my parents? What has honoring my parents got to do with me being relevant? You came out from a family. I know you didn't have the opportunity of choosing your family, but you are who you are today. Your story will not be complete without you mentioning the family. You're talking about your parents. And I came from a family where I didn't get all the attention from my father. At the time, my father wasn't around for so many years until he began to see me on TV, and then he began to look for me, or he began to give me the opportunity to let me know where he was. And I've seen people, when I have conversations, they say, I can't forgive my father, I can't forgive my mother. They left me. But I'm saying honor. It's very important. Whether you're a Christian or a Muslim, is very important. Me honoring my father when he wasn't there for me, I am where I am today. My father built his first house before he was 30, 40. By the grace of God, I've lost count of the things that I've gotten from properties. Am I supposed to? Sometimes don't focus on the negative part of your parents. Sometimes they didn't have a mentor. They didn't have somebody they could talk to.
They didn't know how well to go about things. They didn't know how well to be a parent. So don't hold on to the things that they could not hold. Make sure you're always trying to get your parents' blessing. Somebody say, thank God I don't have a father, I don't have a mother. But somebody helped you. Somebody accommodated you. Make sure you go back once in a while to honor them. I tell you, there are simple prayer from God bless you. God bless you will go a long way. Don't. It's very important. Honor your parents, and above all, honor God. If at the end of everything your talent is not being a blessing, instead is a curse. It's not from God. So honor, relevance. If you're going to be relevant in anything you are doing, whether a comedian, a compere, a musician, always remember that God gave you that talent. And just a matter of time, if he decides that we're not going to wake up tomorrow, there's nothing we can do. Nothing. So honor God, honor your parents. Integrity is important. There are a lot of things. We have 10 of them, but we'll stop at 5 today. Yes.
And then we'd like to get your feedback at the end. Let us know what you think about it. If it blessed you, please put your comments, and possibly send us a mail on spiritofsaco@gmail.com.
Thank you very much. It's been a great one. I'll just just do a rundown of all the points. How to stay relevant in the industry. Your core values. Know why you're going into the industry. Reinvent in your craft. Mentorship, integrity, honor your parents, and honor God. The G factor is very, very important. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a comment, subscribe, like the video. There is something it does to the video when you like it. Yes, thumbs up. And share the link. Share. It won't cost you any money. Once again, my name is Telemon, and it is a wrap on Time Out with SACO. Of course, my boss here. SACO, yeah.
My boss here.
No.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. See you next time.
Thank you.